All right, everyone, welcome back to the page. God is great. In this video, we're gonna be showcasing here my cameraman, Timmy Tithe, and the purpose of the video is I'm gonna be explaining to him why I confidently believe with my whole heart that if a human being in America has the ability to read, like literally read, when there's a sentence on a piece of paper, if you can read that, I believe you should be making at least $200,000 per year. And if you're on our virtual sales team, you can and should make over $200,000 a year. And if you're not making $200,000 a year and you have the ability to read, there's only one reason. Well, there's a few reasons. Number one, you're not in the right opportunity. So whatever opportunity you're in is not a good one, because if you have the ability to read, you should be making over 200K. Or if you're in the right opportunity, because we've hired hundreds of people onto our sales team, and there's hundreds of people that have made six figures, but there's also hundreds of people that crumble and haven't made six figures. The only reason that'll happen is if you don't work hard, you're not disciplined, you're not focused, or you're just a complete quitter and you can't stick it through the learning curve when you're new to the sales team. But in this video, I'm gonna tell Timmy how people on our team get leads, how we train you up to be able to take those leads and turn them into nonstop sales, and how the numbers work on how you can make over $200,000 your first year without even growing your own team. Obviously, when you partner with us and decide to grow your own sales team, the more people you help make six figures, the more money you're gonna make as the team leader. But even if you don't have a team, I'm still confident that you can make over $200,000. Timmy follows me around. He sees the Cullinan, he sees the Ferrari, he sees the multiple six-figure watches.
Everything.
And he sees the other people on my team who make a boatload of money, but I've never really broken it down for him step by step of like, this is how everyone's doing it. So this is the first time he's hearing it.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be asking me questions in case anything doesn't make sense to him.
Exactly.
To help you guys as the viewers who might be thinking the same things he's thinking. Questions such as, well, what's the catch maybe, or why doesn't everybody do this? Things like that.
Is it a pyramid scheme? Like, that's a huge thing.
That's a huge thing. People always ask.
That's what I've heard from people that like kind of tried this before. And I was like, yo, why'd you stop? They were like, yo, nah, like I couldn't do it. It was a pyramid scheme. And for me, I just didn't really understand. So
yeah,
like, is it a pyramid scheme?
So a lot of people from the outside looking in think, you know, this is a pyramid scheme. Matter of fact, when I was joining the company, I thought it was a pyramid scheme. And I was telling everyone, yeah, like this might be a pyramid scheme, what I'm going to do, but they're definitely making money, so I'm going to go do it anyway. Yeah. And my own parents were telling me, you shouldn't do that. That looks like a pyramid scheme. So then when I asked the person who was recruiting me, hey, is this a pyramid scheme? He said, let me ask you, what's a pyramid scheme? And I'm like, honestly, I don't even know. It's kind of just that's what people say, and now I'm saying it, and I don't even know what the heck a pyramid scheme is. So I looked up what's the definition of a pyramid scheme, and a real pyramid scheme, number one, pyramid schemes are illegal. If you run a pyramid scheme, it's gonna get shut down. Clearly what we do is not illegal. I post about it on my Instagram every single day. Every shirt I wear talks about it. The license plate on my cars, both of my cars, talk about it, and I've been posting about it every single day for 5 years. So if it was a pyramid scheme and what I was doing was illegal,
shut down.
It would have been shut down a long time ago, because I couldn't be more out there about what we do.
Yeah.
A real pyramid scheme is when the people recruiting you into the business, the way they make money is because you have to pay them to get into the business. But there's not a real product being sold. It's just, hey, come work with us, here's the initiation fee, and then once you're in, you're told that you have to go recruit people to work with you and they have to pay the initiation fee, but there's not actually anything going on. There's no products being sold.
Okay.
For us, we sell life insurance. The only way someone gets paid is if a life insurance policy is sold. No one has to pay us to join the team. It's completely free.
And every person needs a life insurance policy.
And everyone needs life insurance.
Like I have life insurance, literally.
Exactly.
Like,
so and the other thing is this, the company that we work for is Globe Life. Number one, Globe Life's been around for over 75 years. So a pyramid scheme's not going to be around for 75 years.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Globe Life is the official life insurance company of the Dallas Cowboys, which is the biggest football team basically in the country.
Shout out to the Cowboys!
Yep.
That's where I'm from.
Globe Life also just partnered with the Los Angeles Lakers, so we're now the official life insurance company of the Lakers. And Globe Life owns the naming rights to the Texas Rangers ballpark stadium, which is where the World Series champions play out of. Like, I think they won the World Series 2 years ago.
Damn.
And if you look it up, Texas Rangers ballpark, what's it called? It's called Globe Life Field.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No, that's actually crazy. So the insurance company is named after the actual field.
Well, the field is named after the insurance company.
Yeah. Okay. Dang.
So anyone that's like, this isn't legit, it's a scam,
legit.
it's as legit as it could possibly be. It's Globe Life. And one other thing, Globe Life has more policyholders than any other life insurance company in the entire country.
Wow.
So it's a completely legit opportunity. But I understand people saying it looks like a pyramid scheme because we are always posting about recruiting and everything like that. But no one has to recruit. The reason so many people join this company and recruit like crazy is because before you join the company, you grew up your whole life thinking it's hard to make 6 figures or $200,000.
Yeah.
And then once you join, you're like, holy crap, how did I not know it was this easy to make $200,000 a year? And you just want to tell everybody about it because you already know you used to think it was hard too until you were introduced to this opportunity.
Yeah.
So now you want to just tell other people about it. And when they come in and start making money, you make money as a leader as well. So it's a win-win for everyone. They get paid more and you get paid more. So therefore everybody wants to recruit.
So specifically when you say like 200,000 in your like in a year, what does it exactly take for someone to actually make or generate that in the company?
So it really just takes, our average sale is going to get you paid $500 on average.
When you say average sale, that's like bringing someone on and getting them life insurance.
Yes.
Okay.
So like when you sell a life insurance policy, the average sale is going to get you paid $500.
Okay.
Here, let me just break it down from when you start to how you can start ripping sales and everything in between. How the leads work, how many leads you get, I'll explain all of that.
Okay.
So when you join our team, you go through a training process. As you've seen, we run these live trainings every week.
Yeah.
I run 2 of the days, Brian runs 1 of the days, Gavin runs 1 of the days.
Very good leadership.
Great training. Learning from the best people in the company.
Yeah.
Which not a lot of teams do. What we teach during training is, well, first off, let me just back up and explain how we get leads. So our company is partnered with over 40,000 different unions. A union, for example, is like the police union, teachers union, nurses, electricians, plumbers. There's tons of unions throughout the country.
Yeah.
And basically, these union members already have life insurance through work most of the time. But they understand that life insurance that everyone gets through work is usually temporary.
Okay.
Because it goes away whenever they quit, get fired, or retire.
Okay.
And it's also usually free for them or super, super, super cheap. Our company is partnered with these unions, and what we do is we send them a letter in the mail explaining, basically, let's say you're the union member. You'll receive a letter in the mail and it'll say something along the lines of, dear member, us as the union, we're partnered up with this company, Globe Life. They're giving you a couple benefits for free for being a member of the union in good standing. And they also have permanent insurance benefits that are available to you on a volunteer basis.
Okay.
One of the free benefits we give you as a union member is a free life insurance policy. It's very small. It's only a $4,000 policy, usually anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000.
Which is still very beneficial if anything happens anyway.
Yeah, and it's only an accidental policy, so it only pays out if you die of an accident. But you're getting it for free.
Yeah.
So attached to the letter is your $4,000 accidental life insurance like slip.
Yeah.
And it says to activate this, you need to fill this card out and send it back. So the members fill out this card for their free life insurance they get through the union. So they put their name, birthday, email address, home address, 2 cell phone numbers, and they also put who they want their beneficiary to be for the free policy we're giving them.
Okay.
Usually it's like their spouse or a brother or something.
And what does that mean, a beneficiary? What is?
So that means when the union member dies, the beneficiary is the one that would receive the $4,000.
Perfect.
So they handwrite their information on that card, then they mail it back in.
Okay.
That then becomes our leads. So when we're saying, hey, you get free leads, that's the lead.
Okay.
And when you start, you get 250 of these leads your first month.
Oh, smooth.
And I'll get more into how many leads you get and everything like that. But long story short, when you get out of training with us, you have access to 250 of those cards that are filled out. Immediately. The process that we teach you during training is this. You call that lead, and we have a script that we provide everyone. So you literally, when you're calling them, it's word for word. You're reading a script.
Yeah.
But the first initial call is basically, hey, Timmy, my name's Spencer. I work with American Income Globe Life. We handle some of the benefits through your union. You received a letter in the mail a little while back explaining this, and you sent back that little yellow reply card. Do you remember doing that? And usually they're like, yes, I remember doing that. Or they say, no, I don't remember. And we say, well, it looks like you put your wife as the beneficiary for this free policy you get through the union. Does that ring a bell? And then they're like, oh yeah, that rings a bell. And we're like, okay, well, anyway, our job is to meet with you on Zoom, set up your free policy for you, and then explain the permanent benefits, AKA the permanent insurance, that your union has available to you on a volunteer basis. We can meet with you on Zoom tonight at 6 or 7. Which one's better for you? And then you're like, 6. Okay, sounds good. I'll send you the Zoom link. I'll see you on Zoom at 6. So that's how simple the first initial call is.
Wow.
Then when the Zoom comes around, the union member shows up to Zoom.
Yeah.
And we have a PowerPoint presentation that our agents use. The way it works is the union member can only see the PowerPoint slides, but you as the agent share the screen a certain way. So there's a script underneath each slide that you read word for word.
Okay. And that's why you're saying all people need to know how to do is read.
Literally.
Literally.
Literally. And the reason is this. I have done millions of dollars worth of sales.
Wow.
The script we give these agents is what I say and have said for the last 5 years to make all this money.
The exact same script.
The exact same.
Unchanged.
It's the same pitch every single time.
Wow.
So you don't need to come in with sales experience because literally you just read it word for word. And we have hundreds of agents that have never sold anything in their life, and their first day out of training, they literally hop on Zoom. They're terrified. They're not even that good at talking to people. They're awkward, but we tell them, hey, read this, just read it. And they read it and they make sales.
So just literally someone that would be good at this wouldn't, like you said, need to exactly be good at selling or have that experience, but really just be coachable.
It's focus, the ability to read a script, and usually a good personality.
Okay.
Like we tell people, look, if you can read and you can get these people to like you, 1 out of 3 people is going to buy.
What causes people to not have success in selling life insurance?
I would say, number 1, some people are just so awkward and bad at talking to other individuals. And I think it's because with the way people are brought up nowadays, everyone's just in their phone and not actually out there being personable.
Yeah.
So sometimes people come in, and even though they're reading the script, they're so bad with people skills that it's like I'm watching them and I'm like, I wouldn't buy from you.
Yeah.
Like that, you sound horrible. You sound terrified.
Yeah.
Like no wonder people aren't going to buy from you. You sound terrible.
Yeah.
But if you have any bit of smoothness and the ability to make people laugh and like you, then the only other reason you would quit and not succeed is if you don't have the ability to lock in and focus. Okay. Because the way it works is it takes usually 30 phone calls before you can finally get someone to pick up and schedule them.
Okay.
Because you got to think about it. When a random phone number calls you, do you answer?
I do, but
you're different.
Yeah.
But you might be the 1 out of 30 that answers.
Okay.
A lot of people like me, like I get random phone numbers calling me all day. I never answer.
Okay.
Until it's like, okay, this number's called me 5 days in a row, every other hour. Like, who is this? And then I finally answer.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's the same thing. Even though these leads are warm and they filled out a card, they don't know who you are until they finally pick up the phone.
Yeah.
So it can take a lot of phone calls. It's usually the reason people don't last is because they don't have the discipline to sit there and press call over and over. But if you can sit there and focus and just call and understand it's going to take about 30 calls before someone finally picks up, then there's no other reason you wouldn't make it.
That's crazy. And it's funny because now that you say that, I've witnessed a few people that you guys have tried to bring onto the team literally just crumble and leave the situation. And I realized they just didn't have the ability to have consistency with calling. And people really just didn't give the time of the day or even make the volume of calls that they needed to be able to actually close a certain amount of leads or even just get people to answer.
Yeah. It's a focus thing and it's a discipline thing.
That's crazy.
It's the same reason most people are fat, same reason most people are poor. It's always focused, motivation, and discipline and consistency, which most people don't have. So no wonder most people are poor. But if you have those things, we have the resources and the systems to make you a lot of money for sure.
How long does it usually take for someone to start making money? Like if they were like, let's say I was, signed up, did a training, took the exam, got a good grade on the exam, and now since I already got my good score, I want to start selling immediately. How long would it actually take me to start making money?
You should make a sale your first day out of training. If not, then your second day for sure. And if you're not able to do that, you're doing something wrong. And you're either not reading the script, you're either, which is doing something wrong. You're not making enough calls, you're not reading the script word for word, or you're being super awkward and somehow not getting the people to like you.
Okay.
But let me go back to what training's like. So we give you the script to use to call the leads. We give you the PowerPoint to read when you're presenting to the leads. Here's our secret as to why our agents are so successful. And I could charge people in the insurance industry a ton of money for this.
Yeah.
But hopefully there's people watching that aren't in the insurance industry yet, maybe considering joining our team. Number one is everyone on our team has access to unlimited leads. So when I say you get 250 your first month, you get 250, but there's a quota attached to that. And as long as you're hitting your quota, you can always get more leads. Like as soon as you hit your quota, you can get more leads. So no one's capped. There's no cap on how many leads you get. You're only capped if you're not even hitting your quota with the leads we originally gave you. But it's not even a hard quota to hit. It's basically a quota that's like, look, are you competent enough to sell? Because if you're not going to hit the quota, therefore you are capped on leads. But if you're a closer and you're personable and you work hard, you'll hit that quota every few days and just constantly re-up on more and more leads. But here's the trick. So when we are giving out these free accidental policies to the client, because you got to remember, 1 out of 3 people is going to buy from the Zoom presentation, which means 2 out of 3 aren't going to buy. So how can we make sure those 2 people that don't buy are not a waste of our time? Because it's a waste of time if we spend 45 minutes presenting a PowerPoint to them and they don't buy, and that was just that.
Yeah.
So we train our people on how can we make the 2 people out of 3 that aren't going to buy still a good use of your time. The way we do it is this. Remember, you're giving them a free life insurance policy, whether they buy the permanent stuff or not. So let's say you're the lead and I gave you a free policy and you put your wife as your beneficiary on the free policy. And then I pitch you permanent insurance and you don't buy. That would be a waste of my time if it was just left at that. But instead, we teach people how to collect referrals. That way you have an unlimited amount of people to constantly be presenting our product to. The way we do that is, for your free policy we gave you, I'm gonna collect 3 or more emergency contacts. And the way we train to do it, it's obviously, scripted and everything, but I would tell you something like, hey, Timmy, for your free policy we gave you, I need to have 3 emergency contacts. because last year over $1 billion worth of life insurance went unclaimed in the United States. And I would say, do you know why that might be? Why do you think $1 billion worth of life insurance went unclaimed?
Man, literally, why is that?
It's because people's beneficiaries either didn't know about the policy or didn't know who to contact or what to do when the time came.
God.
So I would say, Timmy, to make sure that doesn't happen to you, we need to make sure as many people as possible know about your policy.
Yeah.
So if something happens and your beneficiary doesn't know what to do or isn't around anymore, we still need people to know about this policy so someone can make a claim.
Yeah.
So I would tell you, most people put their best friends down or brothers and sisters as emergency contacts. Who do you want to put for yours? And then you would give me like your friend's name and maybe 2 brothers.
Yeah.
And I would say, okay, what's their phone numbers? You'd give me their phone numbers. And then I would say, all right, Timmy, I need you to text them. We even teach our agents. I would send you a text that you're going to copy and paste. The text would say like, hey, blank, I'm on Zoom with someone named Spencer right now. He just set me up with life insurance. I listed you as an emergency contact on my policy. He's going to call you and explain some important information. His number is blah, blah, blah. Make sure you take his call when he calls you. So I would send that to you and I'd say, Timmy, copy this and send it to your brother. So when I call him, he knows what it's about and he knows I'm calling.
Genius.
So then you would prep your emergency contacts, your brother and your 2 friends. And then as soon as we end our meeting, even though you didn't buy, I'm going to call your emergency contacts right away. Fresh, warm leads ready for my call. I'm going to say, hey, Joe, you're Timmy's brother. Did you get his text? He's going to say, yeah, he texted me, told me he put me as an emergency contact. I'm going to say, yes, sir. We need you to hop on Zoom. Since you're the emergency contact on Timmy's life insurance, there's a bunch of important information I need to go over with you so you know what to do if and when you ever need to do anything, and also so you know how life insurance works in general.
Yeah.
Then he willingly hops on Zoom with me, and we have another PowerPoint for that presentation where basically we tell him, hey, Timmy put you as the emergency contact. We're going to explain to you how life insurance works. We're going to make sure you know what to do if you ever need to do anything. And then also to be upfront with you, we're going to teach you how life insurance works because we provide permanent benefits to the union members like your brother Timmy. And we're going to give you the same 3 permanent life insurance plans we give to all of our union members. Whether you buy one or not, doesn't matter. We won't twist your arm, but I just want to be upfront with you that you are going to have one-time access to a nice permanent policy the same way your brother Timmy did because he's in the union.
Oh, I love that.
So they already know it's coming. It's not like we're being, shifty at the end.
Yeah.
So then the whole presentation, we teach them about the company. We teach them about how life insurance works. We talk about this is why the union has permanent benefits set up for their members because most people have coverage through work, but they don't know it goes away whenever you quit, get fired, or retire. We teach him everything, and then we show him options for himself. Same thing, 1 out of 3 close ratio. But if he doesn't buy, it doesn't matter because we're giving him his own free policy.
Exactly.
We can do it in most states. The only states we can't do it in are like Pennsylvania and a couple others. But let's say I present to your brother, I teach him how your policy works, and then I show him options for himself. If he doesn't buy, we're giving him a free policy anyway, same thing, accidental. And I'm going to say,
in the context of his,
we need your emergency contacts now. And then I'm going to have him text his emergency contacts, and now I'm presenting to them.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, it's a game about how many people can you get in front of and present and read the script and show them the value of having permanent life insurance.
Yeah.
And the product sells itself. So if you can get in front of 3 people a day, someone's going to want it because it's a good product and people need life insurance.
Yeah, it's needed.
And that's how you can get in front of people. So we tell people, look, we give you 250 leads, but every lead, if ran properly and you listen to how we teach you in training, should turn into you presenting to like 10 or 15 more people just from that 1 lead alone.
Yeah.
So that's how it works.
Wow. That's, man, honestly, and it seems like it can go forever. So you'll never, ever run out.
You'll never, ever, ever, ever run out. A lot of our top people don't even need more leads because they're so good at using our system to collect referrals and just constantly, we're just providing value to people. We're giving them free life insurance, teaching them how life insurance works, showing them options. And it's nice because it's not a pushy sales process whatsoever.
Yeah.
We don't even have rebuttals in our presentation. We teach our agents in the presentation how to proactively beat the main rebuttals we get. The main rebuttals we get are people that say they don't need it because they already have life insurance through work.
Okay.
But we, throughout the presentation, teach people why that life insurance through work isn't enough because it goes away, it's temporary.
Yeah.
So we don't really get that at the end of the presentation because we've already talked about it proactively.
Yeah.
So the only other rebuttal we really get is people that say they can't afford it.
Okay.
It's never like, we don't want this. It's usually like, oh, well, that makes great sense. We want it, but we can't afford it.
Okay.
And then we have a process where we can show them slightly smaller options. But then if they still can't do it, we don't want to make anyone mad and we don't want to have a pushy sales process.
Okay.
We want to leave on good terms because we're going to ask them if we can present to their emergency contacts.
Yeah.
And we don't want them to call their emergency contacts and be like, nah, this person twisted my arm for 5 minutes. Like, if you don't buy, that's fine. Let's just go present to your emergency contact. Because at the end of the day, again, it's a product that sells itself. Yeah. So if you just present it to 3 people and they understand how it works, someone's just going to want it because it's a good product.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's
so
amazing.
So here's how you make 200,000. Learning that, remember, every 3 people you sit with, you should make a sale.
Yeah.
And 1 sale will get you paid $500.
Wow.
So to make 200,000, if there's 52 weeks in a year, 200,000 divided by 52, you need to make about $4,000 a week, which is 8 sales.
8 sales. Okay.
So to make 8 sales, you need to present to 24 people a week.
Okay.
There's 7 days in a week. So 24 presentations divided by 7 days. That's 3 to 4 presentations a day.
Okay.
Using the way we train you, you could get on 3 to 4 presentations from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do is, I present to you first. Okay, you didn't buy. Well, let's call your brother since he's the emergency contact. Get him on my Zoom. Present to your brother.
Yeah.
If he doesn't buy, well, he's got emergency contacts. Let's get his friend on Zoom, and then someone's gonna buy.
Yeah.
So it's really about a sale a day, which is 3 Zoom presentations a day, using the script we give you to read word for word. Collecting referrals the way we teach you to collect referrals, you'll make 200,000 your first year. It's that simple.
And I'm sure there's people that make even more than that.
People make way more than 200,000.
Wow.
And then why you can make so much money in leadership is, in leadership, when you recruit someone, number one, you don't even have to train them because we do all the training for our new agents anyway. So let's say you join the team and you wanted to build your own team. If you recruit someone and that person you recruit makes 200,000, you'll make about 25% or more of that. So that's 50K you're gonna make alone just from that agent.
Wow.
And you don't even have to train them. You don't have to do anything. We provide them the leads, we train them up, but it's on them to go out there and do the same process that I just taught you.
Exactly. So what kind of people would you want to like really try to bring in? Let's say I wanted to do like good leadership and really teach people exactly what I did to be successful, to make that at least 200K a year from, following the script. What type of people like do you guys look for?
I would say people that are self-motivated.
Okay.
Because what's crazy, it doesn't make any sense to me. You just got courtside seats to this happening the other day.
Yeah.
Is you can bring someone in, you can teach them everything, train them up, give them the leads, give them the script, and they're still not self-motivated enough to sit there and just work. Like, it's crazy.
Crazy.
Because it's not even hard,
At all.
but it is hard work because it's a lot of time to make the calls. But it just doesn't make any sense to me how someone could clear as day see this is how simple it is to make 200,000.
Yeah.
And they come in talking about they want to change their family's life forever and they want to make this money so they can provide for their girl.
They don't really want to change.
Or their mom. They don't want it.
They don't want
because
it.
It's right here. It's the same opportunity that clearly works. It worked for me. It's worked for hundreds of other people.
Yeah.
And somehow, some way, even when it's laid out there, couldn't be any simpler, people still quit. It doesn't make any sense.
It's almost like those people that, maybe are fat and overweight. They try to do a fitness program for
and they quit right away.
they don't see results, they quit right away. Yeah, you're gonna be fat forever. You don't want to be fit. You don't want to be right.
Nope.
So I have a question too. Like anyone can get into this, right? Like
for the most part.
If there's like someone that already has a family man, or let's say you're someone that like has like a guy that has a girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
Is this something that they can do as well?
I think 100% yes. One thing that sometimes causes issues for people coming into this is our clientele is union workers. They work usually from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m.
Okay.
Which means if they're at work, we can't sell them because they're working.
Okay.
So when are the best times to sell these people? Usually it's after 5 p.m. So our prime time sales hours is from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m. The reason sometimes it's difficult for people who have a family or have a girlfriend or whatever is because their family or girlfriend is used to them being around and being available in the evenings because they were probably working a 9 to 5 before this.
Okay.
The reason they wanted to work with us in the first place is because their 9 to 5 wasn't paying them the way they wanted it to, and they want to make more money. If you want change, something has to change. If you keep doing what you've always done, you're gonna get what you've always got. But then people come into this, and the change is this: to be successful on our team, you need to work after 5 p.m., usually till 8 or 9 p.m.
Okay.
So when you come in and you have a girlfriend that's used to usually hanging out with you in the evenings or getting dinner or watching TV every day from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m., well, when you start working during those hours, unless you can properly explain to your girlfriend that this is what it's going to take for us to get to the next level and start to do things that you say we want to do, sometimes they'll start nagging and complaining and saying they'd wish you rather just work the 9 to 5. But then they'll complain that you're not making enough money. So basically, you need to be able to work the evenings with us. That's it.
She needs to get on board.
They need to get on board.
They need to get on board. She might have to start making some calls too.
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy. So it seems like it's really not that hard, but it just takes hard work. And that's like anything that you want in life to be able to bring, you not only monetary value, great income, but just overall success, and literally just being someone that records people like Big Bruh, Will Fowler. Seeing the success is amazing, but watching you guys work, that's the best part. Like watching the actual consistency of you guys working, I think that's the best thing. And then also seeing you guys be able to enjoy the fruit of the labor that you guys have been able to put in. Man, we're literally in a Rolls Royce right now.
Yep.
Yes, a Cully, y'all. This joint is crazy. It's comfortable. We've been running over potholes and bumps, and we're still smooth. The camera is right there, smooth rolling. So, talk to me about this. A lot of people will see the flashy stuff, the cars, the vehicles, the watches, maybe even like some of the fans, women might approach you guys. How do you handle those things? How do you handle, people saying, oh, like it's a rental car, or maybe even, I know you have a girlfriend, maybe other girls in your DMs that see all the flashy stuff. Talk to me about that.
So some people think the flashy stuff is just a shallow, materialistic vice that I would use to fill in insecurity, which it might be. Growing up, I didn't have nice stuff, and I'm also super competitive, and when I was joining sales, everyone doubted me. So sometimes it is nice to have flashy stuff, kind of as like a, who's laughing now? You were laughing at me when I dropped out. Yeah.
You get muscles, you gotta flex.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, I learned from a mentor that if it's just about the flashy stuff, once you get the flashy stuff, you won't keep working as hard as you once did. You need to have a bigger why than just the flashy stuff.
Yeah.
My why has always been, when I was 20, I was far from God, and I got into this company, and my sales mentor taught me the importance of having a relationship with God and getting into church, getting baptized and everything.
Wow.
And it was the most transformational thing I've ever done in my life. I instantly, overnight, when I gave my life to Jesus, had more peace, more joy, more abundance in every area of my life. And that would have never happened if I didn't see this dude driving a drop top Bentley, living in a mansion, because I would have never joined this sales company. I was only attracted to the sales company because I saw people with flashy things. And as a young lost kid, that's all I wanted. I just wanted flashy things.
Yeah.
So this dude that had flashy things recruited me into the business because I wanted that flashy stuff. But then he taught me once I was in the business, hey brother, it's not even about the flashy stuff. The most important thing is you developing yourself as a human, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And more important than any of that is you need to get close to God, and you need to get to church. You need to build a relationship with Jesus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I did that and it changed my life.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, look, if I pull up in a Honda, no one's gonna wanna work with me. No one's gonna wanna take my advice, none of that.
Yeah.
But if I pull up in a Rolls Royce wide body, blacked out, with a $400,000 watch on that costs more than the house I grew up in, and I'm like, hey, I can teach you a couple things that might change your life, people are gonna wanna work with me because of the flashy stuff.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, I'm gonna teach them something that's actually gonna change their life, which isn't even the virtual sales. I'm gonna tell them, look, the best thing that ever happened to me was I got into church and I started reading my Bible, I started praying. I suggest you do the same thing. And oh yeah, here's how you can make an easy 200 grand selling life insurance. And then that's what's actually gonna change their life. It's a real purpose for me to get up and work every single day. Because if it was just about the flashy stuff, I'd be done working. I have all the flashy stuff I could possibly want.
Yeah.
But when I can recruit someone into this business like Brian, who was atheist for 18 years.
Wow.
And now, yeah, he has an Aventador and lives in a penthouse. But anytime you talk to Brian, he'll tell you the best thing that's ever happened is he gave his life to Jesus. He got baptized. He tithes 10% of his income. And he just reads the Bible and loves God and is full of peace and joy. And it's not even coming from the flashy stuff. It's coming because he's got a relationship with God.
Yeah.
But that would have never happened if I didn't have the flashy stuff, because he would have never wanted to come work here.
Yeah.
So that's so anyone that says anything about it, they just don't know the real purpose of the flashy stuff.
Yeah.
And it's nice too. I like the nice things.
No, you gotta like the nice things. But I'm now going back to that part about the spirit and not only just having a very good base of good habits, but spiritual practice. One thing I noticed about you and like Brian is you guys continuously tell us that we have to get into the word and we have to get into the scripture and have to have a humble heart. And there's been many times where I've seen, different things or people maybe try to come at you guys, but I've seen that the way you've been able to respond is directly alluded to your spirituality. And I just want to first commend you guys for that. But what do you think it'll take for people to really lock in? How can someone build a good spiritual practice and change their habits? And then how can that also allude and influence their success?
I would say I always like to have things proven to me. So like I didn't believe in the virtual sales opportunity until my first week I made $2,000.
Wow. And
then I felt it because it's like, oh snap, it worked.
Yeah.
I made $2,000, like virtual sales is it. I kind of was the same way with building my spirit. Like it's built through testimonies. I feel like God glorifies himself through testimonies. So I remember when I was new, someone told me, hey, there's a Bible verse that says, whatever you ask for in prayer, if you believe you'll receive, then it's yours. So I didn't really believe it at first. It sounded good, but I was like, let me just put this to practice. Let me just start praying for big things that I've never been able to do in my whole life.
Yeah.
And I know if it happens, it's only because of God, because there's no way this could happen by myself.
Come on.
So the first thing was like my biggest sales month ever when I was new was $25,000 for like in my first 6 months.
Wow.
And then I'm like, there's another Bible verse that talks about you have not because you ask not. So I'm like, okay, I've been working as hard as I possibly can for 6 months, and the most I can do in a month is 25,000. I'm like, let me just pray to do 50,000 and be the top producer for 1 month and see what happens. Nothing changed. Same amount of leads I always got, same hours put in, same work ethic. The only thing that changed was I started praying for it. and ask him for it. And that month I did 50,000. So it built my faith where I was like, oh snap, if I start praying for stuff, maybe it's going to come true. And I've got story after story over the last 5 years of everything I pray for comes true. It might not even come true right away, but it always does. And if it hasn't, I already know it's going to, because I've built my faith that way of everything I've always asked for always comes true. On top of that, I had a mentor teach me about tithing 10% of my income. And he told me it's the only place in the Bible where God says, test me in this. Literally, it says, test me in this. Watch what happens if you trust God with the first 10% of your income. Or I forget what the Bible verse says, but it's like, watch how the gates of heaven open and overflow comes into your life. And I was trying to build a team, kept recruiting people. Everyone was falling off. Sales were average. I start tithing my income, 10%. And I forget what even happened, but it was the biggest week of my career ever. Like most sales ever, most recruits ever. Just everything was the best ever, and I never stopped since. And since then, everything's been on a constant uphill trajectory. Everything in my life, not just finances, but relationships, attitude, everything.
Wow.
And on top of that, I watched a sermon once where it was like, hey, don't take my word for how powerful it is to tithe 10% of your income. Just ask anybody that tithes 10%. Everyone I've ever talked to that consistently tithes 10% has the same testimony of like, yeah, my life was like this. Once I started tithing, this area, and this area got 10 times better. So that would be another one. And then one other way to build the spirit is you hear me talk about in the mornings, I like to get in a quiet place alone and say my prayers.
Yeah.
Because in the Bible it says early in the morning, Jesus withdrew to a lonely, dark place and would pray. So I try to do the same thing. And I noticed that's when it's easiest for me to hear the voice of God directing my steps, teaching me what to do. And it's on me to not hesitate, because when you hesitate, you can get full of fear. Fear is the devil, and then you'll talk yourself out of doing what you know you should do. Every time I'm alone in the morning listening to the voice of God and I hear something, I try to act on it right away, even if it doesn't make sense and even if it's a little bit scary. And every time I do that, it's the best thing I've ever done in my life. For example, dropping out, that's scary to do.
Yeah.
Especially when I was joining this sales company, there was no young kids making money.
Yeah.
Now you can look at our team and there's 100 young kids driving foreign cars, making over 6 figures. So it's easy to be like, okay, I'll drop out because all of them are doing it.
It goes against the norm though, because not everyone was doing that.
But when I joined, there was no young kids making money.
Wow.
All there was the talk about you can do this, but there was no proof that it was possible. But I heard God say, you drop out, you can show people it's possible. Keep me first and you'll be good. So that was scary. I dropped out, had no money to my name, moved from Pittsburgh to Florida, didn't know anyone down there, didn't know how to sell, didn't know anything about life insurance, but I heard it clear as day. God said, this is what you're gonna do, and I'm gonna use this in big ways, and you're gonna lead people to me through this. So I did it. Same thing when I moved to Miami. I was in Tampa for 4 years, had a big office built up in Tampa, big presence in Tampa. Everything was going great. Couldn't have gone better. And I didn't want to stop doing what we were doing because it was going so good. But I heard God say, you got to move to Miami. There's bigger opportunity out there. You got to get out of your comfort zone. So I did it again. It was the best decision ever. Team blew up. I got baptized in Miami. Other people that I take to the church in Miami have got baptized.
Was that at VU?
VU.
Wow, I didn't know you got baptized at VU. That's crazy.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, dang.
And other things. Like anytime I buy something, it's never, it's always a little scary because like the house I grew up in was $200,000. This car was $300. The Ferrari was $500. This watch was $100. My other watch was $400. So it's kind of scary to spend that much money on stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it for a bigger purpose because I know this is how I can get more attention. And when I get more attention, I'm just going to turn that attention to tell people, yeah, God blesses me. You need God.
Yeah.
So I'm always down to invest whatever to get more attention, to lead more people to God.
Nah, truly, even me being around you more, I've now started praying more. My relationship with God has gotten much greater and deeper. And it's literally added just so much more value to my life, not only mentally, spiritually, physically, but also financially.
Yep.
Which is what I know a lot of people, that might be why they come to watch this video, is to figure out how they can get more financially. And before they can get more financially, they might have to feed themselves more spiritual food to be able to get financially able, and stable.
I agree.
And so thank you. That's all I can say is thank you, brother, for correcting my spirit, and thank the Lord for working through you to even bless people around you and even people that are watching this video. This is phenomenal. I'm looking at stars.
Stars.
Stars! The stars at night are big and bright!
All right, let's wrap it up. We're about to pull back in. If you're watching this video and you want to have an opportunity to make $200,000 a year or more, and not even that, but while you're making it, you get to make your own hours. So you get to choose when you work and when you don't work. You also get to work from anywhere in the world. So if you decide you want to travel, or if you decide you want to move states and live somewhere else, that won't affect your income, because on our team, you can work from anywhere and you can work whenever you want. We'll provide you the leads. We'll give you the script to read word for word. You just got to put in the hard work. Click the link in the description to schedule an interview. We run a group interview every Monday night at 8 p.m. Or click the link in my Instagram bio. It's the same exact link. Schedule the interview. You can ask questions on the interview. We open it up for Q&A at the end every single Monday. And I'll see you then. God is great. Look forward to having you on the team very, very soon.
Yeah!